So we did Willow this episode. Again, another one of my favorites.
Well, let me ask you this. What would be the true deep message in this movie that pertains to all races and people? There is none, isn't there?
I mean,
if you find a baby, leave it.
Push it down the river. Mind your own business. Sorceress would have never found the baby because it probably would have drowned.
You're killing the baby.
Welcome to Dad's Talk Film, the show where we take clips from a new movie every show and just talk about how it relates to life, family, dad stuff, and whatever comes to our tangent-filled minds.
We do a lot of the what other stuff.
Just like this other stuff, I'm going to pass it off to Sean Marcus to talk about Ryan Reynolds again.
He still hasn't contacted us. This is how long we've been waiting. Very, very, very patiently. If he comes on the show, let's all record it in your baby's nursery, all crammed in.
I wish I could show you that I have my stand like clipped onto a ironing board and my microphone's aiming towards me. So that is the quality of production we have going on here, making it work with everything we got.
I've got one of these phones clamped to the table with a hot pad. And then everything else is on like Amazon boxes.
Look at this quality that you're missing out on. It's just like you'd come here, you'd feel right at home. Just quality production, 100%.
I'm sure you have Amazon boxes.
You might want to bring some so we can clip your microphone to it. So we did Willow this episode. Again, another one of my favorites because I don't know. I apparently like all the ancient movies with kind of cutting edge special effects.
Would you call it cutting edge though?
It was for the time, actually.
I don't know. So, well, I think the green screen effects were about equivalent to Jason and the Argonauts or whatever, from like the 60s or 70s with the little skeletons that will cut in here. Because
Willow, basically, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, you have seen Willow, but this is before the movies of Lord of the Rings.
I'm going to say it's not just Lord of the Rings. It's Lord of the Rings / the movie Elf / Moses from the Bible / Gulliver's Travels / Princess Bride / He-Man. Instead of a ring, it's a baby.
Yeah. So basically the idea is that there's a prophecy that this baby who's a princess is going to overturn or destroy the sorceress. So Warwick Davis is in this. He's awesome. He was in almost all the Star Wars movies. Actually, I think he might be in every Star Wars movie. And then he's had other random roles, but awesome actor. You also have Val Kilmer in this movie.
I think he's one of my favorite 80s actors. He's in so many great movies.
Man, I love him in this movie, though. He plays Mad Mardigan, and he does a really cool job with it. I don't know. His character is just cool. But that's basically the plot of it. Baby, princess, gonna overthrow sorceress. Sorceress wants to kill baby or sacrifice through some weird ceremony.
And she looked a lot like the evil witch from, is it Cinderella? No, Snow White. Snow White, I think it is.
For sure.
With the
especially towards the end, man, when she's actually doing the ceremony. But it almost seemed like she would have been better off not finding this baby because she almost died just doing the sacrifice thing. It's like, dang. But basically, you start off in Hobbiton. Actually, I don't know the name of it, but it's basically Hobbiton. And you have Willow, who is a farmer. He's an amateur magician and soon to be amateur sorcerer. Has a wife and 2 kids. Actually, her kids are like super cute, but they find the baby that gets delivered down the river because I'm struggling so hard with this episode. I just don't even know where to go. Like, the movie's so good to me, but like I just like am struggling.
Well, I mean, basically, when on this journey, he bumps into Mad Mardigan, who's trapped in a cage. But I always thought it was Mad Mardigan, but it's like Mad Mardigan. It's one name. Yeah.
But backing up a little bit, his kids find the baby. He just wants to send the baby downstream again and pretend like they had never even seen it and just forget all about it. But of course they don't. They bring it to this little council thing because sorceress and their like little warrior people are hunting, and they came all the way down to their little town and just basically ravaged everything. And so now they think there's some sort of curse going on because this baby was here. So he brings it there, and then they assemble a team to basically give this baby to the first Daikini that they see. And there's just a lot of cool, funny moments that happens. What's the one dude's name? There's the old wizard guy who's basically Gandalf coming in. And then, it's like, what's his name? Bunka or man, I can't think of it now that I'm sitting here.
The kind of evil guy. But I think one of the funniest parts in the movie was when the old wizard guy was trying to figure out the direction for them to go, and he has this bird, and he's like, "Follow the bird," and they're like,
"It's going back to the village." Like, no, forget about the bird. Yeah, so then they go on their little journey, and then the
bird means nothing.
Back to where you said we meet Mad Mardigan.
Yeah,
who's locked up in some sort of cage, and I don't think we ever find out why he was locked up. But you can see his personality. He's kind of a weird dude. And
well, I was going to guess he was a thief because that's what they say later, that he was like a thief. So maybe that was his punishment.
So everyone else just wants to give the baby to him. Willow absolutely doesn't want to because he doesn't seem like a fitting father or anything for that. And plus, it just seems like it'd be irresponsible to give it to somebody who's been in
a cage.
But another side note, because I'm all over the place here, Tony Cox is in this movie, and we're going to be talking about Tony Cox here in December when we do Bad Santa, because he's in that movie.
You just said what the movie is.
Oh yeah, forget about that. We'll bleep out what movie.
We're going to cut that out.
Oh man.
But I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh no, we can't mention that.
Just forget about that. Where's the Men in Black when you need them? I'm going to edit that in. You're going to forget about everything.
I'm laughing a lot in this episode.
I'm just like rambling and struggling is all I feel like. You need to talk more in this episode because I'm struggling.
I think the one thing that I took comfort in watching this movie is that we can say that our green screen technology is that equal to a Hollywood blockbuster movie. Because those little brownie creatures are so poorly done.
But they're so funny.
I think
it's like...
Yeah, they're funny. But as I was watching it, I'm like, man, that one little guy looks like the dude from The Usual Suspects. And I looked at him. I'm like, yeah, that's him.
There's a couple people I recognized him. We'll be talking about him in a later episode of The Usual Suspects.
You're just throwing him for a loop. You're throwing him off the trail.
The whole reason we even were trying to do this episode is because the Willow series is coming out in November. So I'm trying to get this episode there so that way we could watch that and be super excited about it.
So that was what I was going to ask you. What do you think? I haven't read much of anything of Zero about the actual series. Do you know what
I've just seen like one of the trailers that came out.
Like, did the baby come back and they have to keep bringing it back? It's like a boomerang.
No, but they brought the same actress, it looks like, who is Sorsha, who's the sorceress's daughter and Mad Mardigan's love interest, because he gets hit in the face with the love dust and ends up falling in love with her, which turns into like a real romance later.
Oh, that was so cheesy.
But I mean, the other dude in The Usual Suspects, he fell in love with a cat right off the bat, and he's got a rat head on, so he looks like a little mouse. But so they brought her back, it looks like. Of course, Warwick Davis is back as Willow.
Do you think Val is going to make an appearance?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I kind of hope that they just let him die. Like, without bringing him back.
You're so mean.
But he doesn't look anything really like he used to. So, just I mean,
no, I know. Hating on Val like that.
Answer this. So you got the sorceress, right? She's looking for the little baby with the birthmark because she's the princess that's going to overthrow her. Yeah. Now, wouldn't that make the mother the queen? So why is it so hard to find this baby if it's like she's a princess? Queens have a princess.
I think it's the whole, like I said, the biblical thing. You're throwing in some Jesus action there where she's born to just a regular person. That's my theory. Take that, Bible school. Okay, so what I want to know is why didn't the sorceress, because she wants to get rid of this baby, why doesn't she just kill the baby? Why the whole
They probably explained it like right in the beginning where all the words were where you were supposed to read. So let's throw that in there right there because it probably tells the answer right there.
No, I didn't. I don't remember that. I was skimming through
the part where it said that she had to eat the baby to be super young. Also, how did she get so confused? So Willow in the town, he does this pig trick, like a disappearing pig thing, and like picks it up and goes, bah! And it's gone. But then, of course, the pig runs out from underneath the table, and everyone laughs at him. They bring that back, and so this is like great sorceress, and he says, I can send the baby into another dimension where no evil can touch it, basically. And so he does the baby trick, or the disappearing pig trick with the baby. Bam! Makes it disappear, and then like fools the sorceress. So this is like a sorceress that can handle a stone acorn and like shift all back and be like, you're a little bitch. Like that's the only magic you got. And then he's like, watch this. Ha! The baby's behind me around the corner. And then she's just like, ah! Like she had a heart attack or was like, I don't know, had explosive diarrhea in the whole moment. And
do you think I could trick her with this whole routine?
Probably.
Take this, sorceress. I got your nose.
I don't know, man, but like, do you think like if you had this epic journey that Willow had to go do, he had to leave his family and his kids, do you think you could do that to like just go outside the Shire?
Man, I mean, if it was like Lord of the Rings type thing, and I'm like, if I don't get this ring back, like the world's going to end. But like, he didn't really know like the world was going to end if he didn't bring this baby back. Like, it was just kind of like, hey, I got to
give it to the first person you see.
I mean, I don't know if I would take that upon myself to venture off.
So the dilemma, though, is that they have to get rid of the baby because obviously those people are hunting or looking for it. But do you think those people are going to actually come back, like the sorceress's crew, like going to come back and look after they already just destroyed your own little town with the dogs?
Clearly her goons are not very good at looking because, you know, when they were in that mountain village hiding in that little underneath bunker, like they come up, you know, and they're holding the knife to Sorsha's neck and they're like, no, be gone, you know, take off. And then they just like kind of walk out and like nobody else really looks for them. Like they don't run out and be like, hey, they're over here. I mean, when I saw this as a kid, it was the only time I've seen it. I didn't think I would remember much of anything, but like when I was watching the scenes, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally remember this. Oh yeah. And this is what happened.
I was like saying lines from the movie.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've seen it. And I'm like, man, I watched this movie a bunch. You know, it was also pretty crazy. The epic sled ride that they did.
Where he's holding a doll the whole time.
That sled ride was so long. They were just like going through like glaciers and stuff and just bombing up mountains. And they had so much control over that shield sled.
They're just turning on a dime.
Also, Willow was sitting on that shield for a long time. Mad Mardigan's like, go jump on the shield. And he's just sitting there and he's like fighting people on the way. And like Willow's just sitting there. That's another thing with all these battles. It's like you have these huge battles, right? And then you got the people walking around, or you got Mad Mardigan having enough time to plant a kiss on Sorsha, or Sorsha planted a kiss on him or something. How come all these other guys aren't just trying to stab him while they're distracted?
It's a thing I've been trying to figure out since the dawn of movies. Like, why are they always fighting just one at a time and everyone else is just standing there like, when is it my turn? Mm-hmm. When's it going to be my turn? He's dead. Yeah. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Gang up on him. All stab your swords at once.
What's up with pigs in this movie? Like these segues? You got You got the pig in the first part of the movie, makes it disappear and it runs away. And then later, the sorceress like turns everyone into pigs, which was pretty brutal for like a rated G movie. I don't know if it's rated G.
Maybe George Lucas really liked pigs or really
I don't know. There was
that
like pig transformation scene though was pretty gnarly, especially the one guy who had like the pig body and legs, but his head was still pretty much human and the tusks and stuff or teeth or whatever. What other cool segues can I do?
I've got a serious sorcery question. Is it the wand or is it the sorcerer? Or do they have to be together in order to
I'm going to say that just like in Doctor Strange, basically objects can get like infused with magic and it just helps like cast the spell. That's what I'm going to go with on this. She found a crookedy stick, really liked it, and said, this one's a magic one. So
if it's infused, does that mean it can run out? Because like if you have like an infused oil thing, scent thing, that runs out.
Basically, you're equivalent magic wand to an essential oil diffuser, like an aroma.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why he rubs it with the blood or something.
See, people on the podcast don't get to experience all this. If you're listening, pop onto YouTube and check out all this good stuff.
So Willow hates trolls. Trolls come up in this thing when they're at the castle, but then he zaps them with his little essential oil stick. And then it turns into like, it was kind of a gnarly scene. The thing like shrivels up, like if you were to pour like salt on a slug. And it's just messed up as a kid. So I used to do that. Pour salt on slugs.
My mother-in-law still does it. I'm like, that's mean.
I mean, I get it. They're in your garden. But like as a kid, I used to go do it all the time. Now I'm like, it's kind of jacked up. Drying out slugs and killing them.
Here comes a fun fact. Fun fact! You know why that happens?
And salt dries up stuff.
The salt breaks down their cells and they basically just liquefy.
It's got to be a terrible death, man.
I know. That's why it's mean.
Killed so many slugs as a kid.
Yeah. I used to go burn ants with a magnifying glass.
I wasn't that sadistic.
You just slowly torture and like liquefy slugs from the outside.
Yeah, I know. At least it's like instant. Don't chase them around and like wait for the sun to have enough heat to heat up. If you pour it on their eyes, it probably is. No, that probably.
What do you think is going to kill you faster? Some salt slowly dissolving your body, or being burnt to a crisp instantly with like 1,000-degree heat?
I feel like both are terrible. I think we're both terrible people. Is what it came down to.
When you die, those slugs are going to seek their revenge on you.
If reincarnation's a thing, I'm probably coming back as a slug. You're going to come back as an ant.
Another fun fact. Ants eat more meat than any other species on Earth.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I saw that on like a Animal Planet show or something about ants.
Yeah, it's our nature channel that we do now. Talking about slugs and ants. But back to the troll that gets zapped by the essential oil stick.
Oh yeah, the troll.
He shrivels up like a slug, but then his skin like peels off, and then he turns into a hydra. Is that what it was? Like a weird dragon? No, maybe it's just a dragon, but it has two-headed dragon. How did that happen? Was it like Willow's? Did he do like a spell that just like transformed it?
I feel like the spell that he did was like, oh, I'm going to turn you into like goop, and then it fell into water, and then it's like gremlins. That's what turned them. So this is Lord of the Rings / He-Man / Gulliver's Travel / Dumb and Dumber / Gremlins.
Dang, are you talking about like He-Man, like Masters of the Universe He-Man?
Yeah, because that one dude had that skull helmet.
Yeah, that is what I thought about. Yeah, Skeletor straight up in this movie too.
But if you're fighting in battle, a skull helmet would be like.
I was trying to figure out what kind of skull it was because it's obviously not a human skull, even though they
feel like it's a gorilla skull. But that whole Hydra troll thing, I mean, that was again as bad as Jason and the Argonauts. you ever see that movie as a kid?
I don't remember it, but
Yeah.
I probably did.
Oh.
There's a lot of stop motion type
Yes.
thing, the old Sinbad movies.
Well, let me ask you this. What would be the true deep message in this movie that pertains to all races and people? There is none, isn't there?
I mean,
If you find a baby, leave it.
push it down
Send
the
it
river. Mind your own business. That's what this should have just been, a series of mind your own business. Push the baby down the river. Mad Mardigan could have like served his purpose and like served his sentence in his little jail cell and died. Sorceress would have never found the baby because it probably would have drowned.
You're killing the baby. I'm I'm glad there were no more than class 1 rapids in this
Right?
river.
It's all just floating there, all perfectly fine. So basically, what I'm saying is, watch Lord of the Rings. It's the same movie, less babies,
But better.
and has better quality CGI.
And script and action and everything.
I don't know what the message would be in this movie other than it's just an epic adventure with. And then the new series is coming out and it's way more CGI'd. But they bring back the trolls too. What else did they bring back? They brought back the skull guy. I don't know if he's like an actual part in the thing or if he's just a flashback.
Now he's a good guy because the sorceress is gone and he's like, I've reformed.
So what do you want to rate this movie?
Yeah. How many heads of the Hydra is this?
Out of a possible 2 Hydra heads or dragon heads, I'm giving it a 4. You can tell based on all the cool stuff we talked about in this episode. 4 Hydra heads.
Yeah. I'm only going to give it 1.5 Hydra heads. Like it's a cute, good, fun movie as a kid, but it doesn't hold up.
I feel like the pacing's really good. Like it just constantly moving.
Yeah, like that montage where they're like going through the forest. And it's like, it's probably all shot in the same exact spot. They just like
Cue montage song from Team America.
got to be a montage.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this was one of our better episodes.
Oh, I'm gonna have to cut out all the parts then. If we're using this, I'm gonna have to cut out all the parts saying that I'm just struggling with it.
That's what makes it real. People are going to connect to us because, it's uncut. It's raw. It's beautiful. All
So
right.
yeah, hit up all the socials
Yeah.
and stuff. Pow, 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 pow. There's a Patreon and there's the Venmo thing right there. I think that's it. Peace.
Bye, everybody. No, actually, I think it was pretty funny.